So, you're an L&D professional in a company that's big enough to care about developing its high potential talent. And you have a bit of a problem, a bit of a challenge. The folks who you have identified as likely candidates for the C suite, those who are likely to be promoted to become executives, you've put them perhaps in a high potential training. You've given them some background and some experience, or maybe not. Maybe there's no budget for that. But, and here's the but, the time will come when they'll be sitting in a strategic planning retreat as an executive and not be prepared. You see the problem happening in slow motion. You want to do something about it, and you don't want the situation to, worst case, have them actually attend the retreat and not be able to make the contribution that they want to make, you want them to make, and the other executives, CEO, the board, the chairman, chairperson, all wants them to make. It's the kind of situation that makes people wonder when it happens, was that person really ready for that promotion? Well, the truth is they are ready and ready in terms of having the potential, but they may not have had the exposure that you wanted them to have. And as a result, you may feel a bit disappointed because there was an opportunity that was lost. Even perhaps a little guilty that you didn't do enough to prepare them for the time when they could think strategically on their feet and contribute from the very start of a retreat all the way to the end. Unfortunately, what many do when they're caught in this situation for the very first time is that they get very, very quiet and they kind of watch and wait, see what's going to happen. And by the time they've watched and waited and decided to say something and speak out, the event is over and they miss the opportunity. So, in theory, people should be prepared for the next level in their uh, journey up the corporate ladder. Unfortunately, in the area of strategic planning, there's not much training in terms of MBA schools. There's not much you can pick up something from the internet. Even if you take an online course, it doesn't give you the practical steps that you need, especially here in the region. It doesn't give you the regional nuances, the culture that's developed in companies that do strategic planning here in the Caribbean. It's not like other parts of the world. Well, fortunately, we're putting on the Caribbean Strategy Conference. And myself, my colleague at Framework Consulting, we've worked with companies across the region for the last couple of decades in strategic planning retreats in Jamaica, Trinidad, Barbados, the US, and other countries. But we're not the only person who's presenting at the conference. We've brought together the best practitioners that we could find from around the Caribbean, and we're all coming to share our ideas. Furthermore, we intend to leave those who attend with not just ideas, but also some inspiration. And the way we're going to do that is by putting together industry panels from mostly attended by executives from around the region in areas like tourism, energy, and finance. And they're going to be sharing the best strategic planning practices that are currently being used around the world in a way that anyone who doesn't have a background in the specific area can understand. Oh, here's an idea I could use. Oh, I can't imagine, I haven't thought of that before. Oh, look at what they're doing, it's so inspiring. We're also going to be interviewing innovators who have uh, struck out on their own and actually used COVID to launch their businesses, the opportunity that COVID has brought. And finally, we're going to be giving everyone who attends a custom blueprint. So we're actually going to be giving them a generic blueprint, but they're going to customize it during the 3 days and walk away with a plan that they can implement that will last from July to December. And that plan will help them to produce a game changing strategic plan within their company that could be implemented in January. And that plan is going to describe how they engage the all levels of the company in the various steps that are required to produce a disruption, a disruption that could be launched in, as I said, January of 2023. So they're going to get all this from coming. But question is, if we do our part and give them all of these tools and give them this experience and give them contact to other people, how can you make sure that they make the most of it? Well, it's not too hard. Take a look at the layout or the design of our conference, at who's going to be doing the presenting, the speaking, the content of the event. Go back, make a list of those folks who are high potential, and think about what they could get from the conference. Think about those who would be attending their first retreat in the next, let's say, 5 years or so. Send them a link to the conference and invite them to register. And if you find that there's more than one person, then why not make it easy for them? Purchase or take advantage of one of our group discounts, purchase a bunch of seats, and make it easy for them to attend. So they don't have to go through the individual process of enlisting, then getting a repayment, and that could actually help them to attend the conference and take away all of the friction. It could help you maybe move from someone who only sees a problem to someone who's actually being proactive in solving it, taking the extra steps and going the extra mile in bringing innovative solutions like a strategy conference, maybe the first of its kind in the Caribbean, to the attention of those who need it the most. And, what would it be like to have them come back to you after the conference is over to thank you for turning them on to this opportunity? And in addition, what would it be like for the members of the C suite to come back to you and thank you for preparing these high potentials to make a solid contribution on the first morning, the first day of their retreat? They would know that you're the ones who intervened and made a difference. It would be a long way, far way to go from the typical kind of struggle that we see. Because when we facilitate retreats, we spend a good amount of time actually training people to think strategically in the retreat. The better solution would be to have them attend an event where they could do that kind of development, get that kind of development before the retreat. But doesn't always work that way. Often it has to happen in the moment because folks aren't prepared. So your intervention may be the one that helps them to avoid that kind of situation. And if that's true, any at all, I invite you to take the steps that I outlined and described. Let them know about the conference that's coming up June 23rd to 25th, and help them as far as possible to get themselves enrolled. This is Francis Wade, and I'm the host of the Caribbean Strategy Conference. Take care, and I look forward to seeing your people at the conference.